Good evening. When the Prime Minister spoke this evening, at first there was none of the soaring rhetoric nor any convoluted metaphors, but then he couldn't help himself, likening the deal on the table to the UK and the EU being twins. If one had a haircut, the other would have to have a haircut too or face punishment. But nothing can mask the facts. The Prime Minister wants a trade deal. It has proved easy to say many times, but seemingly impossible to deliver after 4 long years of stuttering negotiations. Today, the EU published contingency plans in the event of a total collapse of the talks, which give reciprocal rights over air and sea travel and indeed fishing, without, it seems, any discussion with the UK. I'm joined now by our political editor, Nick Watt. Nick, what is actually going on in Brussels?
Well, it's a very busy summit, Kirsty, so they've agreed a budget, and that involved settling a very damaging dispute involving Hungary and Poland.
Yeah, but with only 3 weeks to go to work it out, what's the mood in Downing Street and what's Boris Johnson actually saying?
Well, it's a pretty bleak message, as you were saying, from Boris Johnson.
400 prominent women who are engaged in climate change issues, including the first woman President of Ireland, Mary Robinson, today sent a letter to the Prime Minister protesting that the team in charge of next November's Global Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, COP26, are predominantly male. They claim that the senior team responsible for setting the agenda is only 25% female, despite the fact that the British government last year at COP25 signed up to the Gender Action Plan, and they want a 50-50 split, especially as that plan stresses the importance of women in decision-making on climate change. But what's the sanction if the government doesn't budge? I'm joined by Mary Robinson herself, and in a moment This has been a year in which there's been a lot of debate around freedom of expression in our newspapers, cancel culture and no platforming. And it's been quite a range. On the New York Times, an editorial page director resigned over a controversial column on his watch. The actor Jodie Comer was cancelled because her boyfriend was believed to be a Trump supporter. And J.K. Rowling was denounced for comments on the trans debate, which some found offensive. The debate over trans rights has also resulted in the departure from the Guardian newspaper of the prominent columnist Suzanne Moore. She decided to leave last month after the fallout in the newspaper of an article she'd written in March in support of the academic Selena Todd, who'd been disinvited from a women's festival over her trans views. Well, early this evening, I spoke to Suzanne Moore in her first broadcast TV interview and asked her why she had left the Guardian.
What